Welcome to Grandparents Teach 2, Learning Through the Seasons. If you're one of 37% of grandparents who are taking care of grandchildren 3 or more times a week, or you're raising grandchildren, there are times when you need to sit down and do some quiet activity, and the children need that too. And so today that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a quiet activity, but a very important one because you're carrying on a quiet conversation. Do you know that American families spend about 31 minutes talking to children, but that 15 of those minutes are spent on giving directions, and maybe only 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes are spent on just quiet conversation like reading a book. Well, we're going to do an activity that you can sit down and talk to your grandchildren, and you can take a break too. And this is in Learning Through the Seasons. In one of the previous videos, we gathered together some materials from around the house to have a science, I guess it's a science laboratory, moving laboratory. And it was just some kind of a sack and a cup, so if you want to dig, you could. And we had spoons and forks to dig, pencils, a notebook to draw, and magnifying glass that we picked up at St. Vincent de Paul, some markers, some bags for collecting, and I'm just going to show you what you can do with ants. Ants are everywhere. In a typical anthill, you could have 2,000 to 10,000 ants, so there are lots of specimens that you can use. Just make sure your children don't pick them up because they do bite and it hurts. And the kings and queens with wings on that are flying around also sting. And I know because I made a mistake of picking one up and it felt like a bee stung me. So let's say you've been out in the neighborhood, you've been walking around, and you found a few ants, and you put them in a little container and you put the cover on tightly so they didn't get out. And this is a nice kind of container because you can look through it and see what they look like and take out your magnifying glass, because ants are kind of small and they're always on the move, unless it's a carpenter ant, one of those great big black ones. But you can talk about with any age child about ants. And I happen to have been eating some pistachio nuts, and so I saved these, but peanuts shells work great for this sort of thing. And so what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to do this for the child, because no matter where children are as far as skills and using their fingers, they need practice doing that. And I have some glue, and so just help your child, but not do it for them. And little dab will do ya, and they can put it down, and if it's sloppy, who cares? It's theirs. It's what they can do at that point in time. And so you would glue all 3 down, not you, but the child, and just help. Maybe you have to help squeeze it, or help tell them a little dab will do you, not quite so much, but give encouragement and praise. Lots of smiles and hugs, and just say, well, we're going to be making some insects here, and since we went around the sidewalk and we counted some ant hills, and we gathered an ant, let's see if we can make a picture of an ant. And if you have a picture of an ant that you can find in a book, that'd be perfect. Otherwise, if they use their magnifying glass, they can find that too. And say, oh yeah, make a little line segment there, that's for the antenna. And this would be the child doing it, and it's not going to be perfect. And of course, there are going to be 3 legs on each side, and I have to think now exactly where the legs are. But there's going to be the head, thorax, and abdomen. Actually, they have 2 abdomens. And And these little ants can carry so much weight. It would be like a child carrying 200 pounds. And they are really strong, really, really strong. So they draw this, and then maybe they want to make an ant hill with different chambers and whatever you can find out online about ants. Maybe they want to put a little fly out here. But the whole idea is just to collect some insects and store them for just a short time, and then go back inside where it's nice and quiet and draw what they found, and maybe they can describe what they found, and you can print what they saw. Like, I saw ants. And put that on their paper, and they have a great paper to share with others. So behind the camera is Fran Darling for Grandparents Teach 2, and I'm Iris Caters, and somebody in the family has to really care about education, and that's us.